Peace and Godspeed, family. We back again through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. We back. Know what I mean? Hey, I'm wait till a couple people hop on, cause I want to show y'all this. Hey, my boy around so cold. I'm gonna play this intro, and I'm gonna have this intro on all my videos. Right? I'm gonna wait till a couple people hop in though. But as you can see, the title, the Bible can fix it. Your bodily ailments through the teachings of the scriptures, it can change your entire life. And all the bodily ailments that our community suffers from: heart disease, stroke, diabetes, gout, stress, irritable bowel syndrome, all that, the Bible can fix it, right? Hey, it is what it is. The scriptures can fix every issue in the so called black and brown community, every single one, right? I'm gonna wait for a couple people to hop on because I'm gonna show y'all this intro. Factual. I'm gonna show y'all this intro. Say we got three in here. I'm gonna go ahead and play it though. Let's go.
Shout out my elders working, trying to get together, making sure we do it better. Free us from this wider pressure. My people catching cases, double life he facing. Scattered all across the world, I see familiar faces. Say we all.
Yeah. 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 I'm gonna put it one more time.
Shout out my elders working, trying to get together, making sure we do it better. Free us from this wider pressure. My people catching cases, double life he facing. Scattered all across the world, I see familiar faces. Say we all.
All right, all praise to the Most High. How about Shema Mashak? Woman like y'all was shy. Let's get it. Y'all already know how we do. We ain't gonna waste no time. Let's get it. Share my screen. Let's go. All right, let's get it. All right, we're gonna start in the book of Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach. We're gonna get Sirach chapter 30. The Bible can fix anything, anything and everything. Nothing is too hard for the Most High God, right? It's Sirach 30 and verse 14, right? And it reads, "Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body." That is deep. It says, better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution, having a good body, than a rich man that is afflicted in his. Right? Because it don't matter how much money you got. If you got terminal prostate cancer, you're finished. It don't matter how much money you got. You got a terminal disease, it don't matter. You finished. So better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. That's check the wisdom of the scriptures of the Heavenly Father. Right? Verse 15. Health and good estate of body are above all gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth. Right? Meaning what? Having a good, sound, working body, a body that's working at optimal health, nothing can beat it. You feel amazing every day. You can get your 8 hours of sleep. You can wake up, not be sluggish. The brain fog is gone. Your eyes can see clear. Your joints not hurting. You're not kind of waking up, having to wake up and crack every last bone in your body because your body's on point. Your joints don't need no lubricant. You ain't got to take fish oil, right? And the scriptures teach you how to eat, how to drink, all of that. That's what we're going to get into today, right? The scriptures teach you how to do all these things, right? Verse 16. There is no riches above the sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart, right? Everybody likes to talk about when we were kids, right? For example, when we were all kids, our bodies was working great, and we was happy. We was just kids. We was kids. We was doing our thing. We was having fun. We just loved the fact that we were alive, right? But over the course of time, that's something my uncle told me. He used to tell me all the time. He was like, never lose your imagination, right? Because life as an adult can start to break you down and chop you down through all your experiences, all the turmoil, all of the tribulation that you experience as you get older, and life starts to set in, and you're experiencing all these different things. He pretty much always told me to keep a part of your childlike mentality, right? The optimism, you know, the faith, the hope, the joy, right? She was talking about not letting a man take your joy, right? We have a Mashak Al Shine. We have the right to eternal life now, right? But nevertheless, there's no riches above a sound body. There's not enough money in the world. You can't tell somebody, like I said, who has a terminal disease about to die of stage 4 cancer, I got $1 million for you. What does that profit me? That's vanity. What am I gonna do with that? I want my body to be okay. I want to be able to live, to be able to use that $1 million. I got 3 days to live. Not saying there's anything too big for the Most High to heal you and bring you out of that, deliver you from that. But nevertheless, that's what the scriptures is saying. There's no money above having your body, living having longevity of life, right? And no joy above the joy of the heart. When you happy, you happy. Everything seems like it's going perfect when you happy. Your dopamine, or it might be serotonin. Correct me. Whichever the hormone is in your brain that makes you happy. Nothing above, right? And death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. That's why you hear our elders when they get ready to die, they say, "I'm just ready to die." I hate it here. My body hurts every day I wake up. I got to take 50 11 pills. I got the little container Sunday through Saturday of the pills I got to take every day. I'm tired of taking them. I'm tired of going to these doctor's office appointments for the doctor to just put me on more drugs that make me feel worse than what I would if I wasn't on them. I'm ready to die. Why am I here? Right? That's what the scripture is saying right here. Now look at the wisdom in that. Death is better than a bitter life or continual sickness. Nobody wants to be sick their whole life, right? Nevertheless, now we're gonna get into how do we fix that? How do we fix our bodily ailments according to the scriptures? How does the scriptures teach us how to do that? We're gonna stay in the book of Sirach. We're gonna go to verse 30, chapter 37. Salaki. Right? Sirach 37 and verse 29. Right? Sirach 37 and 29. Actually, I'm gonna start at verse 28. This is Sirach chapter 37 and verse 28. For all things are not profitable for all men, neither hath every soul pleasure in everything. Meaning that different strokes for different folks, like they say. Different strokes for different folks, right? Everybody doesn't like the same thing. Everybody don't like beans. Everybody don't like potato salad. Everybody don't have pleasure in everything, right? Read on verse 29. Be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats. Meaning, don't be a glutton. Don't be eating too much, right? Because that's, first of all, that's bad for your body. And then too much meat brings sickness, right? Verse 30. For excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn into choler. What is surfeiting? Excess, eating too much. My auntie always used to tell me to eat until you're satisfied, not till you're full. Because once you're full, you've already eaten too much. Now you got the itis, which is this choler. Now you irritated. You just want to go to sleep. You full. You don't want to do nothing else. You burping the whole time you laying down. Your stomach feel like it's about to bust. Right? That's that cold. See how cold the scriptures are? See how cold that is? For excess of meats bringeth sickness. Eating too much meat got clogged arteries. Now you got heart disease because you eating too much. No, there's no balance. And surfeiting, eating too much excess will turn into choler. Now you got the itis. Now you sick. Now you upset. Now you mad. I know when I used to do that, when you eat too much of a good meal, your eyes bigger than your stomach, and then you laying there, keep burping. You keep burping. You can't stop because you didn't ate too much. Now your stomach hurting, kind of hard to breathe because your stomach all tight, right? Verse 31. Right, this verse 31. By surfeiting him have many perished, but he that taketh heed prolongeth his life. Right? Because by excess of doing anything, a lot of people have died by doing too much. If you drink too much water, you can literally flush all of your good nutrients out of your body and die by drinking too much water. And we know that water is essential for life, right? But too much, the Most High deals with balance, balance, balance. I cannot stress that enough. Balance, having balance, right? Of your life and especially your diet. Sound body, a sound mind, and a sound spirit is going to follow. All right, let's go to the book of Sirach. We're going to stay in Sirach and go to chapter 31. Right? And keep all of these things in mind. Not eating too much, intermittent fasting, eating from 12 to 8. That's easy. You fast for 16 hours a day, and you only eat in an 8-hour window from 12 to 8. It's real. It's not that hard to do that. Right? Now let's go to Sirach 31 and verse 27. Sirach 31 and verse 27. I'm just gonna throw little tidbits out there. This is more of a smooth class, just to make you think how the scriptures can teach you how to have a better life. Right? That's what this whole Bible Can Fix It series is about, showing how the scriptures can completely change and transform the state of our community right now today. Something that we can begin to apply to our community and the way that we behave and the way that we operate that can completely transform not only the mind state, but the community. Changing your mind, therefore, make you more aware of what's going on in communities. Like fluoride, they put fluoride in water that everybody drinks, which affects your mind. Esau, your enemy, has figured you out and your body's chemical makeup, how your brain operates, the things they put on TV, the frequencies they put through the radio. All of these things are attacking you on a daily basis. And one of the ways that you can combat that, beside coming back to your God, is through a healthy diet, right? And doing things in order, in balance, having a balanced life, right? This is Sirach 31 and verse 27. Wine is as good as life to a man if it be drunk moderately. What life is then to a man that is without wine? For it was made to make men glad. So it's okay to drink a little wine, a little strong drink, but in moderation. The Most High is a just God who's dealing with a unjust balance is an abomination to the Most High. Right? It tells you that in the book of Proverbs. So the Most High is dealing with balance. The Most High created the wine for us. What did it say? For it was made to make men glad. Right? Then Jesus Christ turned the water to wine. But in the church they say you can't drink. But Christ was drinking wine. They accused Christ of being a wine bibber. Right? Let's keep going though. Verse 28. Wine measurably drunk and in season bringeth gladness of the heart and cheerfulness of the mind. Now, I want to focus on this in season. And I got to bring up something that my rib was telling me the other day, that if you drink while you're sad or whatever, it causes addictions. When you drinking and you trying to pacify a feeling, that creates an addiction. I didn't know that. She brought that to my attention. Right? That's why it says in season, when it's time to drink wine at the feast days. Or when you just get off work, you're trying to chill, you had a long day of reading and studying, you just pour up you a little glass of wine because wine is good for your heart. Right? Even Paul teaches you to put down the water and drink wine because of its medicinal properties. Right? That's in the New Testament. Right? And cheerfulness of the mind makes you happy. You drink a little wine, you get relaxed, you in chill mode now. In season, though, in season, that is important, right? In season, when it is time, there's a time for everything. It says that in the book of Ecclesiastes, a time for everything. You must have the discernment to be able to know that time, right? Verse 29. But wine drunken with excess maketh bitterness of the mind, with the brawling and quarreling. Now that's simple. You see how the scriptures just tell you what go down when you drink too much. Now you want to fight everybody. Now you talking, you running out the side, you talking out the side of your neck because you drunk. You got that liquid courage, what they call it, right? You done drunk too much. Now you mad, you angry, you sad. You thinking about every girl that done broke your heart, every man that done broke your heart, right? The person who cut you off in traffic yesterday. Now you brawling and quarreling. And what does the scripture say about a man of the Lord? That he should not be a brawler nor a striker, right? Verse 30. Verse 30. Drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend. It diminisheth strength and maketh wounds. The scripture's so cold. The scriptures are so cold. It says drunkenness increaseth the rage of a fool till he offend. When you drunk, you gonna keep pressing that issue until somebody you just touch the wrong person and you already loose, you swing back and forth, and then you get your then they do what they do with you. And now you got wounds. You didn't got into a fight because you drunk and you done mess with the wrong woman or the wrong man, and now you done got did something dirty to you, man. Because you're not following the scriptures. See that? You see how the Bible can fix that right there? And I know almost anybody can attest to this who's ever drunk before can attest to this happening. I can. Hey, all of us had that, like Paul said. As so were some of us, right? With our conversations with the world, right? Let's keep going. 31. That's all I wanted on that. But come on. Now let's go to the book of Sirach 38. So like we're gonna stay here and go to Sirach, the 38th chapter. And verse 4 is what I want. Right? The Lord hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Right? We have the information is increasing right now in this day age. This is the age of information. So going to the doctor, most of our people in our community don't like the doctor anyway, rightfully so. A good book to read on why you shouldn't medical apartheid, right? The things that the people who created the medical industry in America, what they did and how they came to the science that they have now, really came from them operating on black and brown people to get the science, the tools they use, um, and all the instruments that they use in the medical field came from them uh, literally experimenting on black and brown people. That's another lesson for another day. But rightfully so, our people are afraid of going to the doctor and do not like going to the doctor. But check it out. We have physicians in the earth, these holistic doctors, uh, that use the herbs. And I always recommend this brother, master herbalist Patrick Delves on YouTube. He's an Israelite herbalist, right? He does lessons almost every day, very frequent, on different herbs that can help with the ailments of your body. Master herbalist Patrick Delves on YouTube, right? And I watch his videos a lot. And I have another book, another couple of suggestions of books that I have that I'm going to show you guys later on in the lesson, right? But nevertheless, the Most High gave us all the medicines in the earth, all the herbs that we have uh, today. You got milk thistle, dandelion root, uh, hibiscus leaves, just to name a few. And I'm not a herbalist, but I know a little something that's worked for me. And that's why I'm doing this lesson, just to give little tidbits and tricks that I figured out on this journey, going back and forth. And I'm gonna drop a couple websites for y'all too, to get herbs from where I order from. Just the information I have, I'm gonna get back to y'all, basically. But nevertheless, the Most High gave us all the medicines out of earth, right? Everything that we need is in the earth right now. Anything we need for medicine or to cure anything, everything's curable. Why do you think they killed Dr. Sebi? He realized everything is curable. He was curing AIDS victims, HIV, high blood pressure, diabetes, on and on. And they murked him for it because guess what? The biggest drug dealer on the planet is Big Pharma. Who is Big Pharma? The pharmaceutical industry. They are the biggest, largest drug dealers on the planet. And when they stop losing their money, then it's a problem. Somebody got to get touched. Why do you think doctors never cure you? They only treat the symptoms because they don't want you to be cured. Because if you get cured, your money stops going to them. They stop getting paid. They only get paid by sick patients. But what did the Most High say? The Lord hath created medicines. The Most High God hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise, a wise person, will not abhor those herbs that he has given for the service of man. And the information is there. It's everywhere. In this day and age, everybody wanted to be an herbalist. I'm trying to find an herbalist program myself so I can start healing my family and different people who have ailments, right? Because there's no reason our grandparents, our parents, us in the Israelite community, brothers having heart issues in the Israelite community. Come on, man. No, that is unacceptable. And all you have to do is make a couple of tweaks to your life. We're just keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Let's keep moving though. Let's get Book of Psalms, chapter 104. Classic. Psalms 104 and verse 14. Psalms 104 and verse 14, right? And it reads, he causeth the grass to grow. Who is that? The Most High. For the cattle, and herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth what? Food, not blowing dro, that he may bring forth food out of the earth, right? Herb is to eat. Herb is to eat, right? Not to blow, to eat. That's how the Most High created it. That was its initial use, and it has not changed in the eyes of the Most High God. It's to eat, not to smoke, to eat. You defiling your temple once you start smoking the herb. Not saying that the herb is bad, because look at the brothers will come out the rule where, well, God made it a herb. The herb come from the earth. Yes, but for eating and not to just be high, because niggas like to do it just to be high. It's not for the medicinal properties. Brothers just like to be high and escape the reality of us being in captivity, right? And that's not how the Most High is getting down, right? Now, let's get into the foods that we can and cannot eat. With that, the Torah. Let's go to the book of Leviticus, chapter 11. Out of the instruction, Leviticus. Right, this Leviticus 11, and I'm going to start here. Hey, classic. Leviticus 11 and 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven footed, yet he cheweth not the cud, he is unclean to you. What is that? The dirty, nasty, filthy pig. That's what the swine is. Dirty, nasty, filthy pig. Right? Let me see. Hold on. Let me see this. Let me see if I can find this video. What the hell? Because I'm a strong arm y'all into watching this. Because this is ridiculous. Right? Let me see if I got it on here. Pork. Pig farm scene. Let's get it. Y'all gonna watch this today. We gonna watch this today. All right, here we go. Let's start here. All praise to the Most High. Let me start this over. Salaki. Here we go. Pause. And you can watch this documentary on Netflix for free. If you have Netflix, it's called What the Health. And I recommend you watch both of them. Right? Nevertheless, let's go.
produced by a hog, an adult hog, as compared to an adult human.
10 million pigs in North Carolina produce the waste equal to 100 million humans.
10 million pigs, 100 million humans. Let's go.
This is the equivalent of the entire U.S. eastern seaboard flushing their toilets in North Carolina.
Come on. I'm running this back. I'm running this back. Are y'all listening to this? Listen up. Listen up. Listen good to this. Listen up. We're going to start this over from the top. Let's go.
If you live near a swine spray field, not even the CAFO, but the waste disposal field, you are 3 times more likely to have a MRSA infection. You can't see how it impacts the average person's life in Plain County, North Carolina, and not be a little upset about it. From an environmental standpoint, from a community standpoint, from all other aspects, North Carolina, we're in a state of emergency. We've already had bouts of swine flu, or H1N1 as they refer to it. That particular swine flu incident was originated on a farm here in North Carolina.
Swine flu came from a farm in North Carolina. Let's go.
There's approximately the same number of hogs in North Carolina as there are people. Between 8 to 10 times the amount of feces is produced by a hog, an adult hog, as compared to an adult human.
10 million pigs in North Carolina produce the waste equal to 100 million humans. This is the equivalent of the entire U.S. eastern seaboard flushing their toilets into North Carolina. But there is no waste treatment. The pigs' waste falls through slats in the floors of the sheds they are forced to live in. It is then pumped into giant waste pits, which leach into rivers and streams, and is pumped out unfiltered onto fields, further polluting the environment and neighboring health.
When you go back and you look at where these hog facilities are located, there's a disproportionate number of them that are located near communities of color, low income communities. It is definitely a human rights issue.
My sister, she have asthma, and her brother, he have asthma. He's 3, and we don't know what she might have. I have asthma, I have sinus, I have sarcoidosis, that's a bacteria, and I have a pacemaker, which is sick sinus syndrome. You know, mostly everybody in this neighborhood got asthma or either cancer. My neighbor there died from cancer probably just last year.
Are y'all family? Are y'all hearing this? Are y'all hearing this? The people that live in this area are getting sicknesses just from being around a pig. And the most I told you that it's unclean to you. It is unclean to you. The white man can eat that. The Chinese man can eat that. The Arab man can eat that. Not you, blacks, Hispanics, Native American, man, woman, and child. You can't eat that. Or else you get sicknesses like this. Let's go.
My nephew down the street, he's got cancer. He's in terminal cancer, stage 4. Not a smoker, not a drinker. And it's not in his lungs, it's in his lymph nodes. Because if you live here and saw the way they do, you don't eat no pork. Well, I don't eat bacon because I know where it comes from.
The sister said, I would not eat pork, I would not eat bacon because I know where it comes from. She lives next to a pig farm, a swine farm. She lives next to it. She's telling you how disgusting and detestable these animals are. She said I wouldn't eat it because I know where it comes from. Let's go.
When they die, they go into a box and they decompose because they swell from sweat and heat.
Look at they put the pigs into a container on top of each other and just let them decompose on one another. And what you about to hear, it gets worse. Right? I ain't gonna spoil it. We're gonna keep going.
A truck come and pick them up, take them to the processing plant in Rosehill, round them up into feed, and feed it back to the hogs.
You hear what she said? She said they take them to another area, they turn it basically into slop, and then feed it back to the pigs. They dead the dead corpses of their aunties, uncles, brothers, and sisters that are decomposed on each other. They feed it right back to them, and you eating that. You eating that, right? But we crazy because we tell you that the Most High gave you this law out of love because He knows His creations. He gave us the law out of love, right? Let's go.
or if he's spraying there, it's gonna come in my face. It hit you right in the face. It smell like something that you have never smelled before. It's worse than a dead body. It's the family graveyard. I have my grandmother out there, my sisters, my brothers. When we go to the funeral, he used to spray.
During the funeral?
During the funeral, yes. During the funeral. Yeah, he spray. And when the people come, everybody be closing their nose up, saying how it stinks. They can want to have a cookout on Sunday, he'll spray.
Do you think he does it on purpose?
I think so. But he just sprays Sunday. He always sprays Sunday. And most of these area hog houses and turkey house is in the black area or the Hispanic area. It's either or.
Do you think it's also a civil rights issue?
Yes. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
There have been times in the past that I have gotten ready on the Sunday, they got ready to go to church and come out, and the smell was so strong that I had to go back and regroup because it got in my clothes and I just couldn't go to church smelling like hogs, I just couldn't do it. So I don't think the government cares. They care more about corporations than do people, individuals.
And they're going to keep on. They're going to put more chickens in this state. This is the feast season. You're in capital of the world right here, North Carolina. My state. Look, there's a blue line stream right here into my property almost, and the Continued Creek right here. I've seen that blue line stream, that filled with feces and urine from that hog pen, and they can say, well, we feed the world. They're not interested in feeding the world. They're interested in making money. You take the money away from them, they'll let folks starve.
See that? And out of the words of Esau, man. They take your money and then they feed it back to you. They love that you Negroes continue to eat the filthy, nasty pork. They love it, right? They love that you eat the filthy, nasty pork, right? Now let's finish this, man. Because this law is perfect. Let me get that in Psalms chapter 19. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. It's perfect. There is no fault in the law of the Most High. This Psalms 19:7. And the law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul. The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple. You automatically wise when you stop eating pork. Is it not wise to stop eating an animal that eats itself and has no sweat glands? A pig does not possess sweat glands, and one of the main properties of sweat glands is not only to cool your inner organs down through sweat, but to sweat out excess toxins in your body. Guess what? Pigs don't do that. So everything that's in them germinating inside their body, you're eating. Now, now you understand why high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke is one of the leading causes of death in the black community. Just by eating pork. Now imagine if you just stop doing it. I guarantee you 85% of your medicine you're gonna come off of just by a diet change. Your doctor not gonna tell you that, but the Most High is telling you that. Which one are you gonna serve, man, or the Most High? Right? Verse 8. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you. Right? What did the sister in the video just say? I would not eat pork or bacon because I know where it comes from. It's a filthy, detestable animal. Right? This verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. Talking about animals. Animals. I'm going to prove that in a second. But Leviticus 11 is talking about animals, not plant life. I'll deal with that in a second, though. Because we're going to talk about sea moss, mushrooms, all that. We won't get to it. Verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. Let's get the definition of abomination. All right, this is the definition of abomination. Anything abominable, anything greatly disliked or abhorred, intense aversion or loathing, detestation. Let's get the definition of detestation. Abhorrence, hatred, The Most High hates pig, and you should too. You should too. The Most High hates pig, and rightfully so. And everything in the waters that does not have fins and scales. When you eat a shrimp, you eating a mini roach. When you eating a lobster, you eating a sea scorpion. You eating a crab, you eating a sea spider. I just want to know if you're gonna take us the little granddaddy long leg that's in the corner of your room, making a web up there. You're gonna take it down, put a little olive oil in the skillet, throw it in there, and cook it up. That's what you're doing with crab, shrimp, and lobster. Same thing. The most I said is an abomination unto you. I know nobody's gonna take a scorpion, put it in the darn pan, and saute it up. Put a little salt and pepper on there, and a little slap your mama. Nobody gonna do that. But you doing that with the crustaceans of the sea. It's the same thing. That's why it's called a crustacean. Why would you want to eat something that's called a crustacean? The words just sound nasty, right? They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Can't even touch them. Whatsoever hath no fins nor scales in the waters, that shall be an abomination unto you. Right? So if the fish, the animal that comes out of the water, if it does not have fins and scales on that, it is unclean. You cannot eat that. And then on top of that, lobster, shrimp, crab, and lobster causes gout. It causes disease in our community. That's what it does. It causes gout. Where your feet swell up all bad because you're eating abominable things. Most already told you not to eat it. He gave you the blueprint. We just don't follow the blueprint. Right? This Leviticus 11 and 13. And these are they which ye shall have in an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten, they are an abomination. The eagle and the ossifrage and the osprey, verse 14, Salaki. And the vulture and the kite after his kind, verse 15. Let me just read in context, read the chapter. All right, verse 15. Every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cacao, and the hawk after his kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gear eagle, and the stork, the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. And we know who like to eat bat. Moab. The Chinese and the Japanese man love them some bat. Hence why we got I ain't gonna say that. Why we got the plague in the earth right now. The Chinese disease, as my boy Trump like to say, man. Hey man, Trump was a funny guy. Now we got Sleepy Joe, Sippy Cup in the office right now, rocking our people to sleep, man. God. And that's another conversation. Nevertheless, right? So you can't eat pork, you can't eat shrimp, crab, or lobster, you can't eat catfish, no imitation crab meat, none of that, man. And it's all for your good. Taking those things out of your diet is not going to hurt you. Right? Let's see what you can't eat. Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, second law, 14. This is Deuteronomy, chapter 14. I'm going to start at verse 1, right? This is Deuteronomy 14 and 1. You are the children of the Lord your power. You shall not cut yourselves nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth. Let's see the definition of peculiar. All right, this is the definition of peculiar. Strange, queer, odd. I don't like that queer word, but uncommon, unusual, right? This is what I like. Distinctive in nature or character from others. Now, the question I would like to ask is what makes us as the children of Israel so distinct or holy or set apart from everybody else? Let's see what the Bible has to say. Let's get Wisdom of Solomon, the 19th chapter. Right? This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19 and verse 6. Right? For the whole creature is Salaki, for the whole creature in his proper kind, was fashioned again anew, serving the peculiar commandments that were given unto them, that thy children might be kept without hurt. Right? So the commandments plain upon tables is what makes us peculiar as a people. Right? The laws of the Most High is our wisdom and our knowledge in the sight of the nations. Right? Let's go back to Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 3. And it reads, thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. That is a commandment not to eat anything abominable according to the Bible. Right? Verse 4. These are the beasts which ye shall eat. So Deuteronomy is called the second law because Moses reiterating things that were written in Genesis through Numbers. Right? In Deuteronomy, he's reiterating these laws, making them more plain upon tables. Right? So right here in Deuteronomy 14, just like in Leviticus 11, it was chiefly focused on what you cannot eat. Deuteronomy 14 is chiefly set up to teach you what you can't eat, so that the Israelites had no excuse not to know what was going on. Because our people like to play stupid a lot. Right? This verse 4. These are the beasts which ye shall eat, the ox, the sheep, and the goat. So you got oxtails, you got sheep, you got goat, you got the hart, the roebuck, and the fallow deer, your venison. You got the wild goat, you got the pergard, which I believe is a mountain goat, and the wild ox and the chamoy, and every beast that parteth the hoof and cleaveth the cleft into two claws and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall ye eat. You got cow, you got all the beef, you got steak, you got chicken, you got quail, you got salmon, you got red snapper, rainbow trout, um, what else am I missing? Cod. You have all these amazing things that you can eat that are clean for you and good for you, right? But nevertheless, our people are stiff necked and they say we're gonna do what we want to do, and then say that the most highest ways are unequal. But no, Israel, your ways are unequal, not the most high, right? Verse 7. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel and the hare and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore they are unclean to you. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean to you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. See, over again. But the thing is, in order for the Most High to start to bless your life, like I did on a couple lessons ago, I went in how you get the blessings, right? It's by obedience to the law, obedience to the words of the Most High, which is what? The Holy Scriptures. That is how you get the change in your life. That's what when you start to bring about changes by keeping the Most High's commandments, by upholding your end of the deal, He'll uphold His, because the Most High again is not a man that He should lie, right? Now let's go to the book of Exodus 23. And I'm about to close out. This is just some quick, right? I'm gonna show you a couple of sites that I use, and then I'm gonna close it out on that. Right? This Exodus 23 and 25. Right? Actually, let's start up. Select. Let's start at verse 23. Exodus 23 and verse 23. Right? For mine angel shall go before thee and bring thee in unto the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites, the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite bring down their images. And ye shall serve the Lord your God. How do you do that? How do you serve the God of the Bible? By keeping His commandments and the faith in His Son. And He shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. The Most High already told you. He made a promise. That's a promise. I will take sickness away from the midst of thee if you obey my words and apply it practically, right? Which is what Proverbs and Ecclesiasticus teach you how to do. It teaches you how to apply the law practically in your daily lives, right? And that's why I'm bringing out so much out of Sirach, right? Let's get First Corinthians chapter 3, and I'm going to get a couple more, and then I'm going to close out, right? All praise to the Most High. It's First Corinthians chapter 3. Oh, Salakia. 1 Corinthians 3 and verse right 16. This 1 Corinthians 3 and 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of the Most High, and that the Spirit of the Most High dwelleth in you? The Most High dwells. You are the temple. You are those lively stones, right? Built upon the foundation and the chief cornerstone, which is a Mashiach Yahushua, and the foundation of the apostles, right? If any man defile the temple of the Most High, because your earthly vessel is the temple of the Most High, him shall God destroy. For the temple of the Most High is holy, which temple you are. How do you defile that? Eating too much, by surfeiting, by eating the improper foods, right? Inhaling smoke, whether that be black and milds, marijuana, cigarette smoke, whatever it may be, you're defiling the temple of God. All right, let's get 1 Corinthians 6. Stay in the book of 1 Corinthians 6, and let's go to verse 19. This 1 Corinthians 6 and verse 19. What, know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit which is in you, which ye have of the Most High, and ye are not your own? All right, for ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which are the Most High's. And on a deeper level, you don't belong to yourself. Your body and your spirit belong to the Most High. He's lending that to you to give you a chance to the kingdom of the Most High, right? He gave you this body and his spirit to give you a chance to either show that you are worthy of destruction or for everlasting life, everlasting condemnation or everlasting life, right? He's giving you that opportunity. Let's go to Sirach 18 and verse 31. This Sirach chapter 18 and verse 31. If thou givest thy soul the desire that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee. Right? Meaning, don't always fulfill your lust, because your body and your spirit and your flesh war against one another, and you should be feeding your spirit more than you're feeding your flesh. And overeating foods affects your spirit. You get slothful because you're full all the time. You never want to read. You don't want to watch the breakdowns and take notes because your body is out of order. And that's the whole reason I did this lesson, to teach you how to get your temple in order. Eat until you're satisfied, not until you're full, right? Because then it turns to cola, right? All praise to the Most High, right? So I'm gonna show y'all now um a couple of websites that I order in my herb store, right? Right. This is one of them. Herbs, etc. or etc. I don't know what etc stands for, but nevertheless, this is the website www.herbsetc.com. Right, and this is one of the websites that I order some tonics from. And these are all herbs from the earth. Right, I take this Isaiah tonic. It's a natural detoxifying tonic for your body. I use the lympha tonic. That's also good for detoxing the lymphatic system, which a lot of people do not. You have a lot of fluid that also aid in weight retention instead of weight loss, because you have a lot of lymphatic fluids um, blocked up in your body, right? And also take chloroxygen chlorophyll, right, which helps in energy, detoxifying your gut if you have bad breath, right? Chlorophyll is good for that because bad breath comes from your gut having things rotting in your gut, and you just need to detox your gut. Not just mouth bacteria, but 9 times out of 10 ailments that start in your body start in your gut, because that's where, like, I believe 85% of your bacteria in your whole body are stored in your gut. So diet is huge, right? And the scriptures talk about that, right? A cheerful man have care of his meats. Meaning what? That you're gonna watch what you're eating. You're not just gonna pick up the random chicken in in Walmart. You're gonna get the vegan friendly chicken, the best chicken for your body. We here in my city, we got a food city, and we have a chicken that's the Amish brand, and it makes me feel amazing after I eat it. Amazing, right? So that's one I use. Here's another one. Salakia. Mountain Rose Herbs. All right. Here's another one I use. Mountain Rose Herbs. Right. And I shop here. I for the brothers who are asking me where I got my frankincense and myrrh from, I got it off here. You just go to Burnables, aromatherapy. You go to Burnables here, right? And this is where I got the frank and myrrh resin, right? See that frankincense resin, and it's on sale right now, right? And you got the myrrh gum resin on sale. Go get you some. Right, and it has a plethora of herbs on here, a plethora of herbs on here that you can buy, right? And alkaline herb shop. All right, this is another one, and this is where I shop as well. And this is where I personally get my sea moss from. Oh, to lock you, I'm gonna go into that. This is where I get my sea moss from. Sea moss is lawful. Sea moss is not unlawful. Sea moss is lawful. We're gonna deal with it. All right. I said I was gonna go over that Leviticus 11. I'm gonna go over it again real quick. Right. Sea moss is lawful. Actually, Bible hubs. What I want. Let's deal with it. Leviticus 11, and we're about to make this real simple through the Spirit. Leviticus 11 and verse 2. Right. This is in the ESV. Speak to the people of Israel, saying, these are the living things that you may eat among all the animals that are on the earth. Animals. It's talking about animals. And it's that simple. It's talking about animals. It's not talking about plant life. Right? Well, brother's gonna say, well, it doesn't come from a seed, it's a fungus. Well, let's deal with that too. As far as mushrooms go, because mushrooms are lawful as well. Let's see what the Most High said. Let's see what a mushroom is first. Let's see what a mushroom is. Right. A mushroom is a fungi. It's a fungus. Right. They're declared fungi, meaning they come from a spore. Right. But what else is a fungus? Let's see. Leaven. Leaven is typically yeast. Let's see what yeast is. Make it real simple. Yeast is also a fungus. Yeast are eukaryotic, single-celled microorganisms classified as members of the fungus kingdom, Selachia. And that's also what sea moss is. It's a eukaryotic microorganism. Well, not a microorganism, but a eukaryotic or eukaryotic. That's what it is. Eukaryotic. Lord, I ain't been in school in a minute. Eukaryotic organism. The same way yeast is. And the Most High tells us to eat yeast. Now let's get that. Leviticus 23 and 37. All right, this Leviticus 23 and verse 37. This Leviticus 23 and verse 37. Right? These are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering. Unto this day, Salakia. That's not the one. Salakia. It's in Leviticus 23, though. Bear with me 1 second. All right. There it is, 17. Salakia. This Leviticus 23 and verse 17. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour, and they shall be baken with leaven, or with a fungus, which is yeast. They shall be baking with leaven. They are the first fruits unto the Lord. The Most High told you to bake stuff with a leaven or a fungus. So brothers, stop saying that. Brothers drink beer and say beer is lawful, but beer is made with fungi. And all the germination process that goes along with beer, that comes from a fungus, and you drinking that. But then say on the left hand side, mushrooms are not lawful. That makes no sense. But nevertheless, just to break it down, just to give the understanding, right? That's what it is, right? Stop sharing my screen. So, with that, I'm gonna say all praise to the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. I pray that you all were edified by this lesson, and I pray peace and Godspeed to all the family, right? And I'm gonna say shalom on that note, right? Shalom.
Shout out my elders working, trying to get together, making sure we do it better, free us from this white oppression.